Well, now we certainly weren't expecting this, were we? A gigantic Star Wars pack for Minecraft. And when I mean gigantic, I mean it's huge. Tatooine, Mos Eisley, Dagobah, Hoff, Yavin 4, and so many more planets in this pack. And Minecraft themselves have said this is one of the biggest Minecraft packs they've ever made. And in that pack, it has completely new models, custom sound effects, new vehicles, and so much more. And honestly, the new vehicles are amazing. You can fly around with the X-Wing or the TIE Fighter. It's insane. The pack comes in at about 1,340 mine coins. And for those of you who aren't that savvy with mine coins as a currency, it's roughly $10 with a 1,720 coin pack. Now, this pack primarily only covers the original trilogy. So your films like A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, with some extra bits from The Mandalorian, even with a little baby Yoda. Look how cute he is. So in total, there's 12 different planet dioramas within one world. And it's that huge that it requires a unique teleport animation in between worlds. It's really cool. You just flip to which world you want to go, you hit the lever, and then it goes all dark with like a darkness potion, a full animation plays, and then boom, you're there. And the DLC also includes tons of skin packs, mobs, item reskins, bespoke texture sets, and more, which we'll get into. There is a lot to cover here, so we'll go through it bit by bit right now. So starting with the skins, we're jumping in straight with the Mandalorian. So there's two variants of the Mandalorian skin. His original armor, which you saw in the first couple of episodes of the Mandalorian, and then his Beskar armor afterward. We also have Greef Karga and Kuiil, as well as IG-11. And of course, we've got Moff Gideon and the Armorer. You have 3 Luke Skywalker skins from Farm Boy all the way up to Jedi Knight. You got Princess Leia, Darth Vader, Stormtroopers, Boba Fett, Yoda, which is really interesting because he's so small. I mean, I only play Minecraft Java, so seeing skins that make you half the size is really interesting. And then you've got the TIE Fighter pilot, which I think will be quite a popular one, and just a whole bunch more, as you can see. So the pack spawns you right into Tatooine, and the first thing you see is a massive sand crawler, and you can just walk in and explore the entire thing. There is a ton of attention to detail in this mod pack. So this is kind of like a full town recreation of Tatooine. So you do have things like Mos Eisley, the spaceport, and the cantina. And in the spaceport, you can see the Millennium Falcon, and there you can board it and explore everything it has to offer. Now, whilst there isn't too much to interact with, it does a fantastic job of making it look really accurate on the outside, whilst also feel very meaningful and kind of realistic on the inside. And when I mean realistic, I mean in Minecraft standards. Another ship that can be found in the spaceport is the Razor Crest used by the Mandalorian. And here you can get a relatively accurate representation of what the interior looks like compared to the show. Now, I'm really shocked by this because they could have just done the Millennium Falcon and be done with it. And I'd be like, okay, that's actually really cool. But they obviously decided that wasn't enough, so they wanted to push that even further. You also have Mos Eisley and the cantina. There isn't too much to see with the cantina, just more of like a casual representation of what it would look like in Minecraft. But the texture pack really does sell it quite a bit. You also have the Imperial area where there is an advanced TIE Fighter that you can fly, which just looks so cool. Now, I never really played the Windows 10 version. I only mainly played the Java version instead. But this definitely looks new to me. I've never seen this in Minecraft before, so I think this is specifically new to either the Windows 10 version or this mod pack. And it certainly can't be Elytras because Elytras slowly glide you down back to the ground. Another vehicle you have is a speeder bike, which you can actually drive around at quite a fast speed as well. So that itself must be pretty new too. You also have Obi-Wan's hut, Jabba's palace, the Sarlacc pit that leads you to the end. Is just insane. Now, I could probably spend the whole video just on Tatooine on its own, but we do have a lot to get through. So if you want me to do a bigger in-depth dive, it'll depend on how well this video does and if you guys want it in the comments down below. Next up, you have the Battle of Hoff. Here you can see the snow speeders, the AT-ATs, the AT-ST, and so much more. Inside the hidden station, you find the Millennium Falcon once again, with a few X-Wings dotted around. And what's really cool is you can finally ride the Tauntaun. My favorite part of this map is that gigantic X-Wing. He is a very chonky boy. Okay, so next up we have Endor. Now, funny enough, this part of the world actually feels like a standard Minecraft world with all the massive trees. Makes me think of the jungle biome, only with a different lighter shade of green for the bushes. Here it's actually quite difficult to find all the content because it's just surrounded with trees. But you do find the satellite dish, which is quite easy to point out. There's some hidden AT-STs and an AT-AT as well. But with a bit of luck, you can find the landing pad. And if you spend a little bit more time searching, you might find the bunker with a little R2-D2 waiting for you. And if you look up within the trees, you should find the Ewok village. And there you can find the Ewok skins with some odd stormtrooper heads. The amount of time and attention to detail to all of this is just phenomenal. And I really appreciate that, to be honest, because they could have just done a Mandalorian pack and then be done with it. But this adds the full 3 original trilogy films together and the Mandalorian content. It just feels like a really good matchup. But if you thought Endor was bad, wait until you check out Dagobah. That entire place is filled with trees. There's only 1 or 2 little spots you can get into to go underneath and inside the planet. And there immediately you can find Luke's crashed X-Wing and even little Yoda's hut. You can explore all throughout the swamp, but honestly, this one is even harder to find new content and any hidden Easter eggs compared to Endor. Next up is Yavin 4. Yavin 4 is kind of interesting because you get to see something other than the TIE Advance or the X-Wing. Here you can see a perfect Minecraft replica of the Y-Wing, and you can see a bunch of them stored in the pyramid down below. You got a few X-Wings outside of the planet area that are a bit inconsistent in size, but the pyramid temple structures are insanely detailed on the inside. I won't show you too much of it because obviously I want you guys to check it out yourselves, but you have multiple levels of the structure to explore. Next up, you have some Mandalorian content on the planet Navarro. And for those of you who don't know, this is the planet where the Mandalorian gives away the baby Yoda over to the Empire and gets his Beskar armor. So here you can see the little town in where it operates. This is where that big Mandalorian combat scene happened, roughly in like the penultimate episode of season 1. Whilst the Mandalorian tries to get back to his Razor Crest and take Baby Yoda with him. Wait, actually, I think that was on a different planet. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one in the comments down below. Actually, from what I remember as well, this was on the final episode as well, because you can also see the crash site where Moff Gideon comes out of his specialized TIE fighter holding the Darksaber. And in this mod pack, the Darksaber is actually a weapon you can wield and use. Another planet associated to the Mandalorian is Sorgon, and that is in this map as well, where you can see the little village trying to defend off against that single AT-ST. The bar is also there as well. That's where the Mandalorian has a fight with Cara Dune, all whilst Baby Yoda's having a little sip of soup. In fact, the bar's interior is eerily close to the actual set as well. I have no idea why they've put so much attention to detail in just this little bar scene that was hardly used in that episode Sanctuary of the Mandalorian. That was episode 4 of season 1, by the way. And on a separate little note, you can also go to Arvala 7. That's where the IG-11 droid and the Mandalorian go in to try and retrieve the child. And guess what? You can do the exact same thing. By going into the same room where Baby Yoda was found, you give him a little bit of rabbit stew and you can earn his trust. Yep, you can actually tame Baby Yoda. Wow. And you can open and close his little cradle. It looks really, really cute. Personally, I think this is the best part of the game, especially when he's following you about. You stick that Mandalorian armor on and you are the real deal. What I find really cool, and the trailer mentions this as well, is that you can recreate a lot of the scenes from the original trilogy and the Mandalorian. I wouldn't be surprised if people take these texture packs and make a fully fledged adventure map for Minecraft using all of this. That would be super, super cool. But not as cool as the fact that Baby Yoda has his own sound effects. That's really, really cool. So there you go. If anyone wants to feel like a dad with an overwhelming bearing of responsibility, this game is for you. Other little minor things is Cloud City with Boba Fett's ship. There is an amazing amount of detail in Cloud City as well, so you've got so much to explore there. Next up, you've got Jabba's Palace. There you can find the carbonated version of Han Solo. I always found that really scary when I was a kid when I watched that. A place where they tortured the drones as well. And you get to meet Jabba himself in his very own 3D model. It's very cool. You also have the Death Star 2. There isn't too much to go in here. A lot of the interior does look like the same. But the fact that the interior is really, really clean and actually looks so sick that I thought I'd mention that as well. But finally, to wrap up, you do have some ship designs. Now, these aren't one-to-one, obviously. because some of these B-Wings are almost at the same size as Nebula B, which definitely doesn't make sense. You got some Raiders, you got some A-Wings, some X-Wings, your CR-90 Corvette, your MC-80B, I think. Kind of hard to tell when it's just Minecraft, at least when it comes to more cylindrical shaped items. And next up you have the weapons. And these obviously replace the sword, and depending on what sword strength you have, depends on the color of the sword, or the lightsaber to be exact. So for example, wooden would probably be green lightsaber, and the new sword that I can't remember the name of, it's Beyond Diamond. That is the Darksaber, and all of them have their own unique sound effects when you swing them. So it definitely makes you feel like you're in Star Wars. Who would have thought? But honestly, guys, like I said, I could be here forever listing out all the secrets, all the features, all the other changes they've made. But if you want a deeper dive into each section of this map, let me know in the comments down below. I tried to do a very quick overview here. There's so much. And Minecraft weren't lying when this was their biggest Minecraft purchasable pack ever. But yeah, that's where I'm probably going to wrap up, guys. Hope you found this enjoyable, because I certainly did as well. There was so much content. Massive thanks to anybody that I ended up having to use their footage. Links to their videos will be in the description down below, so be sure to check them out if you want to see absolutely everything and don't really want to buy the game. But other than that, guys, I've been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.